Yo, what's up, Duff here in my barren hobby room. My once very full and busy hobby room, now it's very empty. I have very little in here. I'm going to finally tackle the T4 upgrade where you get, I have my package from Alien Rides, which I've had for a couple months, I bet. I've been so busy, just didn't have the time, then didn't have the motivation. And on my live stream last night, I was talking about it, I'm like how I haven't done it yet. And I'm just thinking, I mean, from here on out, I'm only gonna get more busy, you know, because this house is sold, I'm buying a house. So the longer I wait, the less time I'm gonna have to get this damn thing done. So I'm gonna do it tonight. I have my laptop over there off camera with the video from Alien Rides about how to do the swap. And this is just gonna be documenting it, see how it goes. And I don't know, let's get this shit done. I like to get shit done. I just opened up my box from Alien Rides and here's the new motor with the off-road tire installed, which I think I'm just gonna leave on because I don't feel like doing a tire swap on top of everything else. There's some spacers that are needed. The new charge port is here. What else? Oh, I got a new tail light. But the one thing that's missing that I was looking forward to was this kit, as far as I know, was supposed to include the kickstand for the T4. There's no kickstand in here. So I just got done sending an email to Alien Rides saying, hey, wasn't there supposed to be a kickstand in here? Because there's not. So that's unfortunate, but I think it's an easy thing to put on. So if I get it sent to me even after I do the rest of this upgrade, I don't think it's a big deal. Even though the instructions specifically say to put the kickstand on first because it helps with other steps of the process. So I will not be able to do that. So let's get the T4 up on the bench here and get to work. Okay, first off, taking the pedals out. And I literally have the Alien Rides video queued up here beside me. So taking a grub screw out of either side. There's a tension screw down here in the bottom. They stress to not oh man, that's tight. To not take that all the way out, because they say if you take it all the way out, then there's a good chance you won't get it back in for whatever reason. So I've just backed that out about a turn. This screw here. But got my two grub screws out. So now the rod should just pop out, right? There it goes, and there should be some spacers in here that will probably fall out. Yeah. Don't lose these. These spacers go with the pedals. As always, I try to keep my parts together. So I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other side. This is less than ideal. I obviously don't have my normal workspace here, so I'm doing everything on a small table. I only have one bench in here for parts that I have printers on already, so I don't have a lot of room to operate, but it's all right, we'll make it work. Okay, here we go, dropping the pedal, and don't lose your spacers. Don't lose them. Now at this point is when you would normally put the kickstand on if I had one. But we will be going past that part. One of the advantages of having that kickstand is you can sit this at a better angle to work on things. I'm just kind of sitting it half-assed on its front right now. Although I could put this on a stand. Maybe I should do that. Now we're working on accessing the control board, so we're taking off two screws that are down here. These T-handle Allen wrenches are very handy with lots of different EUC jobs, so you might want to invest in a set. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to put this on the stand. And we will be putting our parts together in an organized way. And we're going to be taking off this shirt because it's going to make me too hot. Okay, that's better. That'll be better, at least for working on it right now. And all right, let's continue. It's got these two screws up top, out. Let's see, where did I put them? I put them right there. Need to keep making mental notes of where I put shit. So this is a 3mm T-handle wrench. that I'm using I took those 2 screws out, and to take, I'm just loosening these. I'm actually going to try to probably leave these in the hole, but there's 4 screws here that hold the cover on, which you need to get off if you want to eventually get to the system board, right? So we are doing that now. Oh, that's weird. So I mentioned that they installed, or they included a tail light, but this already has this kind of tail light here. What are you supposed to do with this? I don't even know why this is in here. This looks like the type that goes with like a EX20S or maybe a Master. Why is that included? I think somebody messed up at Alien Rides when they packed this box. But we'll get to the bottom of it. Let me get this off. Okay, slides off pretty easy. Just gotta work it around the handle as it comes off. So let's see, let's put all this stuff together, and we'll put it right here in the floor, Elsa. How's that? Elsa's supervising my work, which I appreciate. All right, let's go on to the next step. There's these little Phillips head screws here with a washer that have to come out that look like they hold in the trolley, I guess. That's what it looks like. I would take care to not drop them because they're small. One on each side. It's an interesting solution that they have for holding that in, but I guess it works. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be wowed by build quality when you take apart your T4. It's a fun wheel to ride, but yeah, build quality I don't think is a highlight of this wheel. All right, so this is supposed to, according to the Alien Rides guy, the guy that does this video is kind of funny. He says, press wiggle, 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 and it should come out. Oh, there you go, okay. It did. There's your trolley handle, it's out. So, and we're gonna keep that right here. It's a good spot for a trolley handle. And, okay, there's 2 more screws for the system board cover, which are right here. So I'm gonna get those out. And you may say, Duff, don't you have a V13 sitting in your house right now? Yes. Yes, I do. But I want to get this done for the reasons that I mentioned earlier, because I'm going to run out of time to do this. I'm off tomorrow. So tomorrow I plan to do a lot of V13 stuff. I'd like to get the range test done tomorrow. This isn't turning very easily. I'd like to get the range test done tomorrow, and we'll see what else I get done. Maybe I could do a top speed test if I am able to charge it. I don't know that I would get the charge done in time to do that, but yeah, there'll be lots of E13 stuff tomorrow. Today, I went to go see this Avatar 2 lunchtime matinee. That was good. It was really good. I remember when I saw the preview for it, feeling kind of lukewarm about it, like, didn't really excite me that much, but after seeing it, it was really good. I like it. Okay, the cover is off. So maybe what I'll do is I'll stick the screws that go in the cover into the cover. How smart is that, right? And we'll put the screws that hold down the trolley handle next to the trolley handle. How smart is that? How smart is that, Elsa? Is Daddy smart? Not really. Say not really, but he tries. He does his best. Right, that's all he can do. Okay, let's see what the next step is. Okay, I'm at the point where I disconnected the main power. I hit the power button to discharge the board. Now I'm disconnecting the battery connections. You have to, he doesn't show this on his video, but there's 2 clamps here that were not giving me enough space that I could actually wiggle the battery connections loose. So I just did that. I'll put those bolts right there by my 3D printer. Don't forget I put them there. So now all the power connections are disconnected. Okay, I'm gonna make a command decision here. The way that they have this rubber seal that goes around the wheel, and all of the wires, the battery wires and motor wires, that go through these rubber holes that are there. And he spends a lot of time talking about, threading these through. Screw it, I'm just cutting the holes, man. It'll be fine. If a drop of water gets in there, that's my bad, but I think I'm gonna be totally fine. So I'm putting a small slice here. I will nest it back around the wires when I put it back in. Way easier. Way easier So that's the motor and the hall wire, hall sensor wire is disconnected. I'm doing the same thing with every spot that I see this stuff going through a hole. I don't care. I will be fine. My wheel is not going to be submerged. Now all this stuff will come out and be able to be reinstalled very easily. Yeah, because like if you watch the entire video, the Alien Rides video is like an hour long almost. It's kind of crazy the amount of struggle he goes trying to make sure that these go right through the, stretch them out so you can get the wires through. Screw it, just cut the things. It's fine. Of course, if that bothers you, don't do it. Marty might not do that, but I think it'll be good. All right, I'm currently taking the front light assembly out. There's two wires here. One has a yellow connector, one has a white connector. They both come out easily. And you gotta take the light off because there's a clamp that holds the motor wire cable behind it. So I've been using my number 3 T-wrench here for quite a number of these screws. So make sure you got one. All right, that should just come off at this point, right? Well, I don't know, do I need to take it out? Because it goes through more holes. I'm gonna try to not take that out. Okay, and we're gonna put my light screws over here on the corner of the desk, don't forget. And lo and behold, this clamp has another number 3 bolt, which I have some other ones over here that were used for the other clamps, so I will put this with the other ones. There we go. Wow, we're making some progress here. All right. Okay, back to the video. Something I should have done immediately. I don't know why I didn't, but you gotta obviously take your pads off because you get to a point where you're installing you got to remove the batteries. So pads need to come off. These are very easy. These are number 4 Allens, but all of the batteries need to come off. It is nice, the modular nature of this. Now, what's not so nice is these battery boxes on the T4 are, real thin plastic, which is a potential safety problem. Of course, if you've had a crash that involved a major impact, this case would not give much protection at all for the batteries. So, but other than that, I do like the concept of it being modular and pretty straightforward to disassemble. So far I haven't run into anything I would describe as technically challenging. Okay, one battery off. I'm just going to repeat it 3 more times. Sometimes I just, I amaze myself with my stupidity. So I took off the 2 front battery packs, and as soon as I released the second one, well, guess what? Now the thing is going to have all this weight in the back, and it came crashing off the stand. So that was smart. I think I caught it, and I don't see any damage to the wheel, but that was freaking stupid. I know that would happen. Or actually, I was thinking about that as I was taking out the second battery pack. I'm like, I wonder if it'll be too unbalanced if I just pull off the 2 front ones together. Yeah, it will be. Those of you keeping score at home. It wouldn't be a project of mine unless I did at least half a dozen stupid things. It's kind of the way it goes in my world. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Isn't that how it goes? I'm definitely guilty of doing that. So I'm gonna get these batteries off, and then I'm going to. This is the left rear. Okay, I'm putting them on the floor the way they come off the wheel, because that's smart, right? So that's left rear. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. What is that? Oh, the light. Yeah, I opted to not push the light connectors through. I'm just leaving it attached for now. Because again, that seems simpler to me. I'm taking some simpler options if I feel that they're valid, like cutting those freaking brackets. Because I mean, the guy spends like 10 minutes of the video just freaking. Oops! I just bent the freaking light assembly a little bit. Oh well. Okay. And now I just banged my trolley a little bit. Oh well. It'll all work out, right? Oh, this is okay. So this is the rear. All right, I'll be back with the next chapter after I eat. All right, we're back after eating some dinner, and we're going to resume the fun. So let's see what's next. Okay, so I let the air out of the shock and then compressed it down. And now I'm at the point where you're taking the motor bolts out. All right, got the motor bolts out on both sides. You got this little spacer doodad in here you gotta be aware of. Take that out. And now the old motor should just pull right out. Ta-da. So now I think we have to put some spacers in. If you're gonna put the knobby in, it needs a little bit of a clearance, additional clearance, so there's some spacers that have to get installed. So I need to watch how to do that. Actually, what they have us doing next is replacing the charge port. I guess there was an issue with the old charge ports, and I thought he said something like it allows it to balance better or something along those lines. So I'm now doing that. Now this is awkward because, again, if I would have a kickstand, I could have it resting on the kickstand to do this. Since I do not have a kickstand, I'm just kind of holding it up while I do this, trying to utilize care as I do so. And I see, it looks like a total of 3 bolts. These are number 3s again. 3 bolts that hold the charge board in. And there's 2 layers to it. All right, so let's see what this actually pull out. Yep, all right, there we go. And there's 1 wire that's like threaded through it for some reason. I don't know why they have it routed that way. I think if I remember correctly, when you put it back together, you route this wire a different way. Okay, so there's the old charge board. Okay, charge board is in. Here's the old one. So now you have to take out these bolts over here. This is where we're attaching the riser that is used to give extra clearance for the knobby. There's 1 bolt that's a number 4, and then the other 2 are number 5. So let me get these out and we'll see what's next. Okay, I have the screws up top out. Then you have to release this bolt that attaches the suspension. So this is a damn near total teardown of this thing, if you haven't noticed. And I think Alien Rides was offering that they would do this for you if you wanted. All right, how does this come out here? I don't think they'll do it for free, but they'll do it. All right, just let me figure this out. Okay, bolts out. Not exactly fun or easy, but it's out. So now I think we're ready to go to the next step. Yeah, it's a total teardown, guys. Jeez. All right. Whatever. What else would I want to be doing on a Sunday night? And if you feel like you haven't torn it down quite enough yet, good news, you get to remove this as well. This little piece here, and the riser goes underneath that. All right. Hey, it's a learning experience, right? And like I said, I did watch this video ahead of time. It was a while ago. So I didn't quite remember just how involved this is, but it's pretty damn involved. Pretty damn involved. Here we go. All right. Moving onward. And as you can see, I mean, these risers, I mean, what's that give, 5 millimeters maybe of additional clearance? It's not much. It's not much at all. All right, so once those risers are installed, you are officially at the point where you are now going to be reversing everything you just did. You're going to be putting everything back together. So I'm looking forward to that. So the T4 has the same sort of setup as a lot of Gotway wheels now, where they have these little spacers that have to go in between the frame and the motor. And they're a pain in the ass to get aligned. So I had to fight with it a little bit on the EX20S, and I'm fighting with them on the T4 as well. Yeah, I'm still fighting with this. It felt like it wasn't aligning. I tried to start all 4, it would not align right. So now I just put 2 diagonal from each other, and I'm able to tighten those to get those to suck the motor up against the spacer like it's supposed to. And then I'm gonna put the other 2 in, because you figure 2 diagonal from each other will align the other 2 But man, this is one part of the design I do not like. Plodding along here, putting the batteries back on. Of course, this is taking longer than expected, but I don't know that I've ever done a substantial EUC project that has not taken longer than I initially expected, but hopefully everything's good. Okay, I'm just finishing up putting on the last of the 4 battery packs, and it's time to change the battery in the camera. Okay, battery packs on, up on the stand, and this is where me cutting those parts of the gasket I think will be a good thing. I think it will make my life easier. So, all right, we're getting to the home stretch. What a Sunday night. All right, now we are plugging the batteries back in. This is not confidence inspiring, you know, the way that you see that things are handled in here and just kind of half-ass connected. It doesn't make you feel great, but oh well. As long as it works, right? As long as it works. Oh man, batteries are running low. I've been screwing around here forever trying to get this plastic cover back on. The problem was that the motor cable on these new motors, at least this motor, it has, instead of the white like fabric kind of covering, it almost looks like electrical tape. And it's big and bulky. It's not a tight fit. So when you try to route it up over into the control board area, it was sticking up too high, so you couldn't get the cover back on. It was driving me crazy. So I had to literally trim it back. So there's just the smaller cable underneath it. It's not ideal, but I mean, it would not close with all that extra sheathing or whatever you want to call it around that wire. It should be something like this that's small and doesn't bunch up, but this is a mess. I don't know if that's the way Begode did it or Alien Rides did it, but whew, I probably wasted 45 minutes on that. Oh shit, did I just turn it? Oh, okay, I just turned it on. God damn it. Ugh. Okay, so I'm just putting the pedals back on. I'm basically done. All I have to do is take it out and do a test ride. Make sure everything still works. I mean, it turns on and it balances. So that's usually a pretty good indicator. You know, once you get to this point, you're usually pretty golden. So I'm gonna finish putting it back together and then I will report back. All my batteries are almost dead. So let me report back when I'm done. Hey, welcome to the next day. So I got the T4 back together yesterday and took it out for a test ride, and as soon as I stepped on it, I knew something was wrong. The suspension was like locked up. It was like seized. It didn't really move at all. So I just rode it for a minute just to make sure that, you know, at least everything else was working, but the suspension was screwed up. And I wasn't happy. I was at the end of my rope yesterday. My patience had been totally consumed, so I just left it as is and figured I'd look at it this morning. So as I thought about things, I thought about the process as far as what the problem could be. I was debating if I was gonna have to rip the wheel all the way apart, if maybe the linkage on the shock was binding. But yeah, that was my nightmare scenario, that I would have to rip the thing all the way apart to fix it. So as I was thinking back about the instruction video that Alien Rides did, at one point when they're putting the wheel back together, I remember them mentioning that there's the potential when you're putting the hub motor bolts back in that you could see like a brass insert in there that the bolt is slipping on or rubbing against. Actually, it's rubbing against it. And I didn't pay much attention to it when I watched the video, but when I thought back about putting stuff together, I remembered that I did remember seeing that brass insert on one of the sides, and I just tightened the bolt anyways. So I was able to just take the pedal off, and I took the the motor bolt off the one side and it looked fine. There's no brass insert, but I took it off this side and lo and behold, that little brass slider was down by the motor bolt. And I believe what happened was, since I tightened the motor bolt against that little brass insert is supposed to go up inside the slide tube assembly, and it just kind of gives it more ability to move. I think because I tightened the hub motor bolts around that, it prevented that movement. So what I had to do is I had to back out the hub motor bolts. I took a straight blade screwdriver, got underneath it and just kind of pried it up so it was back up into the housing like it's supposed to be. That's something that was kind of just mentioned in the Alien Rise video. It's just kind of an aside. And like I said, I didn't pay attention to it. So keep that in mind when you're tightening your hub motor bolts back up. If you see brass on the inside there, you can't have it there. You have to push that little sleeve back up into the housing, or you're going to have a seized suspension. So I think I'm good now. I moved it up, I retightened my hub motor bolts, I re-inflated the suspension. It actually slid down like it should, which it was not doing last night. So I think we're good. So I'm going to put the other pedal back on and test this thing one more time and hope I'm done. Okay, I just took it outside and the suspension works once again. Hallelujah. I'm very glad that that wasn't nearly as difficult to remedy as I feared it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like another hour or two tear down, and it feels good. Put the pads back on. Tire feels good, my new knobby tire. This thing looks like it's ready for the swamp, doesn't it? I really need to take it to the swamp. The only thing I'm missing is the kickstand. I sent an email to Alien Rise asking, hey, where's the kickstand? Like I said, it's weird. It's like they gave me a master taillight instead of the kickstand. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but anyone need a spare taillight for their master? There you go. Or an EX20S. So hope you guys found this video interesting. Like I said, if you want a detailed teardown, I will include the link to the Alien Works teardown video, which is what I followed. The most challenging things for me were the new sheathing that they have around the motor cable. It's too loose, it's too big, it's too bulky that I couldn't get it to actually sit down far enough in the control board area to put the top cover on. I messed with that for like 45 minutes. It is a complete teardown, as you saw. You tear this thing basically down to its bare bones, which is annoying, but necessary. And the only other thing was the suspension issue. Like I said, I didn't pay close enough attention to that little mention about the brass sleeve. If that brass sleeve is not pushed up into the body of the slide rod, it will bind. So keep that in mind. So the room is a mess, as it always is after any project I seem to do in here. Need to clean up the room, and then I will be heading out for a range test on the V13. So hope you guys found this video interesting. Big thanks to my members. Click the notify bell for notifications, and that's all I got, man. I'm brain dead. So until next time, Duffman out.